Hello everybody, my name is Himiko and welcome back to the unboxing, where today, we are back on my bullshit again. We are continuing the S.H.Figuarts My Hero Academia line, which has been, I guess, Stockholm Syndroming me into buying more figures. Yeah, we have the next release that has been released in the West, even though a lot of other reviewers are like a release or two ahead of me. Today we are taking a look at a very exciting figure, one that has been steadily growing on me as time has gone on, as I have seen promos and reviews and gotten my hands on the previous release, Ochoko, to the point where I might be overhyping this figure. So let's find out as we take a look at the S.H.Figuarts My Hero Academia Himiko Toga. Himiko is finally a part of the line, despite being one of the earliest figures teased. I believe she was like number 4 teased, kinda. Okay, we initially got word of it through images of Zuko and Bakugo, I believe. I wasn't fully paying attention to the line at that point because I didn't give a shit until I bought that first like actual figure. Izuku and then a Bakugo in the effects set, and then at a like Shonen Jump event, they officially showed off Shoto, but then also had little vague teases for 2 figures. I think initially they were only teasing Himiko, and then also teased the Armored All Might alongside that, but initially they were only teasing Himiko. So Himiko was like the 4th figure we knew was gonna get a figure, or 4th character we knew was gonna get a figure in this line, but then had like 2 other releases before her, which was strange, but who knows, maybe they just needed the time to get it right. Speaking of, this is the box. As you can tell, it looks a little bit non-standard, though it is a bit familiar if you saw the previous video or own the previous figure of Dabi. For the League of Villains, it seems like they're going for this darker box style rather than the brighter one of the the brighter white one of the heroes, which I guess makes sense. They're the antagonists, so they have a little bit of a darker theme, so it's a nice little bit of a, I guess, distinction between the two, though with streaks within some sort of iconic color for them. For Himiko specifically, it's the tan of her sweater that she wears, and her hair also, so it makes sense. We have the little bits of these like blue streaks up here, or not blue, like they're purple, and in general, hers is leaning into a very nice sort of like dark purple gradient, which looks very nice. In the window, we get a good look at the figure and a bunch of the stuff that it comes with on a yellow background, which feels nice and distinctive. Bandai Namco, My Hero Academia logo, Himiko Toga in English and Japanese. This is a Chinese factory release, if you keep track of that sort of thing. The window is printed with the S.H.Figuarts quote, Tamashii Webshop exclusive, Tamashii Nations and Bandai, Tamashii Nations clothing. And also, Hiroaka is at a point in the line where it's not using P Bandai yet, in the West. All of the releases that say webshop, if you're ordering them from a Western distributor, are figures that you can just get. At the top, you have a little bit more of the window, as well as a promo pic of Himiko Toga with her tongue pointing out, she also has her tongue pointing out here, but here she has all of her gear on. Here she is without her gear. Himiko Toga, MHA logo on this nice posh background. At the bottom, we have another one of these wonderful little promo arts that they put at the bottom of these packages that just looks so pretty. And it's like a purple, pink, sort of blood splatter aesthetic with a image of Himiko close-up about to stab whoever is in front of her. S.H.Figuarts Himiko Toga. On this side of the package, you get a bunch of her faceplates shown off. I think this is all of them, as well as the MHA Himiko Toga right there. On this side, you get another promo shot of her with her hands close up to her face, as well as holding a knife. SHF, My Hero Academia, the MHA logo, and Himiko Toga. On the back, you get all of your usual promo shots. The usual simple style and heroic action right there. It's an action figure series that uses state-of-the-art technology or whatever. Himiko Toga using super modeling and super action, as well as a bunch of different promo photos. Some that show her faces. This one that is sort of the generic, placed her in a edited image that they've been using online a lot. 2 others that show her with and without her armor. Her kind of pointing at her tongue to like demonstrate her quirk. Her in the background, which is this same image down here. Faded into the background, which looks very nice. These MHA boxes specifically have looked very premium and very nice, and I like it. And they also put this smaller sticker here at the back for the Western Bandai Namco Collectibles America Inc. sticker here in the back, which looks very nice, which has all your usual cautions. This is for ages 15 and up, so if you're a child, you should not be on this channel. So yeah, that's the box, but I'm really aching to get her unboxed. So let's take a knife and slice. There, it's fitting, right? Yeah, I'm gonna say it's fitting. This is everything that she comes with which is a large array of stuff. So I am very excited. But alongside that, thanks to her large array of stuff, she has an individual instruction manual rather than having it printed on the inside flaps. This is a huge instruction manual. If you have any questions about how exactly the figure works, you can go through here, look through everything. This shows how to faces swap, where the knives go, how to swap out the thighs, what to be careful of on the figure in general, the accessories loadout, and how to swap in some of the armor, which is nice to see. It's a little overwhelming. I guess we'll start with like hands and shit. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pairs of hands, which, wow, outside of the ones that she has on her already. She already has fists on her, but first off, she includes a pair of pointing finger hands, which are all very nicely done. They have the base layer. Each hand is seemingly made out of 2 plastic molded parts. The base layer is the part of the sweater, which is done in a tan plastic, which is nicely ribbed. I feel like you could probably put some panel lines in that and figure that out. And then we have the hand part, which is also very nicely done. Fairly simple with some small yet sort of pointy fingers, which look very nice. So yes, we have these pointing hands, which look very nice. I'm sure these are, I think, mainly for the pointing at the tongue expression to be like, this is how my quirk works or whatever. But also these can just work as cool pointing finger hands, which are nice and expressive. Next up, we have what seem to be a pair of holding hands. Yeah, obviously they have a lot of material taken out of them for the sake of holding things in them. As you can tell, they're very rounded out. I imagine these are for like the little things that are next to her sort of mouth guard thing that she has. So let's take a, I guess, nice close look. But yeah, you can see more of those sharper fingers, which look nice. You could probably use these for like playing piano, I guess, if you want to do that sort of thing with this figure. I don't know why, but sure. But yeah, as you can see, it's a little bit hollowed out, and these should be good for holding the weapon, the main weapons. But also, she seems to have a secondary pair of holding hands, primarily designed for her knives. So let's take a look at that. As you can tell, fairly standard, but this time with a square hole in them. But yes, they still have the level of sculpting detail that you would expect from every single hand, which looks nice. Nothing too sloppy, no real noticeable seam lines. They're all hidden very well. It looks nice. Next up, we are moving into the general expression hands territory. We have a nice pair of splayed out open hands, which again, look very nice. They have a very cute aesthetic, which I think fits her fairly well, the sort of contrast that her character is intended to do. It looks very good and feels, I don't know, very, very fun, very expressive. And then next up we have a different set of expressive hands, which are open but more splayed out rather than just kind of out. A much more expressive set of hands, somewhat similar to the last one, but they feel distinct and they don't really feel like they're taking away from any of the other hands we could have gotten because, well, there's 7 pairs of hands, so they feel nice. As you can tell, a lot of the difference comes from pointing it like this. You can see the little bit more of a like angled look to the fingers, and they look very nice. They're very well done. I like it a lot. And I like the way that the fingernails are sculpted, honestly. They have a little bit of a raised texture if you look close at them, which is nice. Next up, we have these sort of like almost like clawed hands, which feels fitting. Very expressively posed. I like these a lot. They feel very fitting. Very nicely done. A very good sculpt, a very good pose. Fit in there very nicely. And obviously, they've got unique little, I guess, sleeves are the words I'm looking for. They have unique sleeves, which is nice. And finally, hand-wise, we have these sort of relaxed hands, which are, again, very nice to have, very good for just casual posing, especially if you were to just kind of pick this up, not for Himiko Toga, but just because she kind of has this sort of specific aesthetic that you personally want to have in your collection for like maybe background characters. These are nice and helpful. Next up, I guess we will talk about the faces, which look very nice. So she has a sort of smile on her out of the package, but alongside that she has this very nice face, which I like a lot. This fun sort of like almost like a happy screeching cat look. Her eyes are very well done. The pupils are very small in this one. The blush is very simple. The mouth is very well painted and sculpted. I like the way the teeth are shown. I like the way the depth is done. It looks very nice, and it just is a fun little face to have. Next up, we have the tongue out face, which we have seen a lot. Again, this is a very nice expressive face. And a little bit of blush. The eye expression is nice. The tongue sculpting is very nicely done. And yeah, it's a good face. It fits well. Maybe a little shiny. You might want to put like a matte top coat on this, but whatever. It looks good. I like it a lot. Next up is this face, which I'm not. I mean, it makes sense, but I'm not as into. I feel like it could work for the like her big final like beautiful smile moment, but like obviously it has certain implications because of like the general way of like her yandere-esque like character. Again, a little bit too glossy maybe, but that's really me like scratching it like straws or whatever. It's a very strong expression with her massive smile and the eyes and whatnot. I think it works and it fits her character well, and it makes sense to include. Finally, though, I think one of the big draws for this, since this is her end of series look, her like final battle sort of base outfit before she just becomes twice, she also has the battle mask, which I might, since I'm intending for this to be my battle Himiko, since I have the like casual Himiko for the Revel Tech, since I prefer how that looks for that one. I think I'll probably keep her with the battle mask. I think it works very well. Obviously, I'll probably make her differently expressed depending on what photos I want to take, because this does look like a good figure, but this is very cool. I really like how it looks, and I think it's very well done with the little like sort of like 6 stripes that go down it in a raised pattern with her angrier expression, which is very unique in comparison to the other ones. Despite not having a mouth, it's very well expressed, and yeah, it really works. It's a very well done face, and it feels like a very particular draw. Could they have done more faces? Maybe, but I do feel like this is a fairly decent roundout. Maybe like an angrier face without the face mask, but otherwise I do think it works well. Yeah, and of course there's more than that. One of the main things is that she has 6, count them, 6 knives. That's right. She has her knives. With the Revel Tech, you only got 2 that were able to be removed, but this one includes all 6. So if you want them all removed from the sort of like holsters on her thighs, you can. They're all the same sculpt. They have this gray bit of paint with the silver blade, and they look nice. And they're fairly simple, but they are nice to have. I'm glad that they are here. And of course, again, you get 6 of them. They're all identical, so I'm not going to go over them all. I'm just going to take them out slowly here. So they are sharp, so be careful not to prick your thumb or whatever. Next up, I almost forgot to talk about these because they are very small. But for the little things around her little like mouth jowl thing are like blood sucker things. They're meant because her power is that she drinks blood and is able to transform into the people that she drinks the blood of. So her special gear allows her to, I guess, like stab someone, take their blood, and have it stored in their backpack. However, they need these little needle things. These are swappable parts because usually they're left compressed. But when she uses them, they are meant to be poking out. Apologies for not having them on camera for a bit. But yeah, here they are. They're very simple, painted silver. They have a little, they're white plastic, so the little nub isn't painted, so that's nice, so it won't get scratched up. But as you can tell, I'm kind of struggling to show it off because it is so tiny, and I don't know if I'm gonna actually use these outside of very specific pieces of photography. But yes, you get 2 of them, so that depending on how many she wants to hold, either one or both of the ones that are in use at the time, you get 2. They are identical though, so be careful not to lose them because they are very tiny. Speaking of tiny parts, this next suite of parts are all for swapping her back into armorless mode. So something you'll notice in covering these accessories is that she technically has more, but they're all on her at the time. Primarily the armor parts that are her like collar mouthguard thing, the pouches that go around her waist, and the holsters on her thighs. But you can remove those easily and put her into more of a storage mode, though that or more of a basic sort of casual look, though that requires 2 primary things. One of them is this real tiny piece right here, which is just a little piece of dark blue plastic that goes on the back of her sort of like collar area to fill it out, because there's a little hole in the back of it that you can swap with this. Make sure you don't lose that, I guess. I don't think it'll be too detrimental if you lose it. There'll just be a hole in the back of her like neck or whatever. But more impactfully, she comes with a spare set of thighs. You got to do a full swappage to get those off of her, which I guess makes sense. They're simple, they're plain, they're well sculpted, all things considered. You can see a little bit of that back there for the sake of articulation, and as something I'll note, I'm going to leave the armor on for this unboxing video. I'm not going to take it all off, but she does get more articulation without the armor. From what I can tell, the upper torso has a little bit more articulation because it's out of the way. You probably get a little bit more outward because stuff isn't in the way, and you mainly get more neck articulation. It's got a lot of articulation in there, but it does get limited by the collar. But yes, otherwise it's fully articulated, fully nice, and it's nice to have these. The final accessory though is something I was not expecting to be as nice as it was until I got the Ojiko. This is the main thing that I got extra excited for once I got the Ojiko in hand. We have to connect to her mouthguard as an optional final part alongside the sort of battle mask, just hiding under her. The little talon things. I don't know their names specifically, but as you can see, it has a sort of teeth-like aesthetic. Though the original had just white teeth, this new one for the final battle has silver teeth because they're able to launch out. As you can see, they're a bit straight right now, but that's because all 8 of them are on thin but serviceable bendy wires. So I guess this kind of counts as articulation, but you can get them flying all fucking over the place, and it's crazy. Not just that these figures have bendy wires where other figures would just use a pre-sculpted piece, but that this line has so many bendy wires. This figure specifically has so much fucking bendy wire in it, and the wires themselves feel a bit weak and a bit thin and loose, but they aren't holding up a lot of weight, so while it might take a second to get them into a pose that you like, they will stay because these parts are really light. And oh my god, this is just so cool. It's so nice that you can get this however you want. I thought it was just going to be a part where it just stayed splayed out in the way that they showed in the promo image. I did not know that these figures would have bendy wire until I got Uraraka in hand. And I guess until I saw other people getting Uraraka in hand, whatever. But this is insane, and I'm so happy. There's a little bit of paint slop on the front of it, but you aren't really going to be noticing that because it's like crazy, insane. I've got to use this on my display, honestly. That's why I'm going to use the battle mask, I think, because I got to use this accessory. But yes, finally now, we get to take a look at the figure itself after so long looking at the accessories, because this figure is fucking packed with accessories. And keep in mind, in the Western release, she retailed for the same price as Ojiko Uraraka, about $99.99, which is a lot of money. The Uraraka was kind of pushing the edge of that. I don't know the exact yen price because, again, these are unboxings, they aren't super prepared. But this figure comes with so much stuff. Hands that are very meticulously done, to be fair. They aren't just single plain pieces of plastic. They're 2 pieces of plastic glued together, which is a little bit more effort. Plus, all of the swappable parts to get her between her 2 different looks, the 4 different faces, all of the different weapon parts that she comes with, the bendy wires that come with the faceplate. She is fully loaded, and I can't really think of much of anything that she would need. Maybe it would have been nice if she came with like a blood splatter effect part, and her quirk isn't super well utilized, though, to be fair, Uraraka came with a quirk expression part for Himiko, with the sort of half Himiko, half Ojiko face. And I'm pretty sure that fits onto this figure as well. Especially if you get the Uraraka, this figure's kind of perfect accessories-wise. But is the figure perfect figure-wise? You can have a lot of accessories and be a bad figure, so let's find out if this is a good figure by taking her out of the package and also removing this little bit of plastic that's around her waist. Oh, I heard this was like a delicate piece that fell out a lot, and okay, I can kind of feel it, yeah. I guess just don't move it too much. So I guess just try your best not to move that part, because it will pop out, like, if you do move it, like, barely, but, like, also, I don't think it's gonna move all that much. So here she is. First off, I gotta get that neck part a little bit more pressed in. It looks like this will pop out a little bit easily, and I've seen, depending on how you're posing it, these will pop out a little bit easily, but here is Himiko. She does look nice. I guess if anything you're gonna complain about is that of all the MHA characters, she probably has one of the more plain looks, at least for this line. Not the most plain look, that's Shigaraki. But like, she is, for the most part, outside of the specialized armor, just kind of like a schoolgirl with a bit of like a gyaru aesthetic. She does have like a nice design. I like it a lot, and it's done very well here. Maybe there could have been a bit more paint to make it look a little dirtier, a little bit baggier, which I think would be fitting for her character. Starting off with the face, again, I really like this smile. It's one of the best faceplates she has. It's very cute with the 2 little fangs poking out of the small smile in the mouth. The eyes, the bangs are actually at a level where she doesn't look like she's kind of balding. which is more than I can say for the Reveltech. But yeah, it's very nicely done. The hair has a nice sort of almost like straw-like aesthetic. Oh geez, that fell out. Yeah, gotta be careful with that. Ooh. I don't think this needed to be articulated. It's bumping out a little bit more than I would like, but speaking of, anyways, back to the head. The hair does also look very nice. The little frayed out bits of her 2 buns are very sharp, very nicely painted, and her hair is very nicely textured. I think it makes sense given her character and like who she is to have it look a little bit strawy, a little bit stringy, a little bit wild, but overall it does look nice. Onto the little maw. I guess first off, she does have obviously all of that painting underneath. The skin tone of the painted skin seems a little bit weird. Oh, there that goes again. God damn it. Yeah, that little bit of skin is a little bit oddly paler and yellower than her skin tone, but it's okay. Not super well painted, but otherwise the little bits of the school uniform which are under here are fairly nicely painted and do look good. You can organize those however you want, but obviously she has the little neck collar maw, and it can come undone and become misaligned, so I guess just be careful with that as you are playing with it, though. If it comes misaligned, it's not that big of a deal. Sorry, just trying to get everything nice and secure, though even if it's not super secure, it'll be fine because it'll hang around thanks to the little tubes. Just don't look at her, I guess, from the back if that comes undone. But yeah, it looks very nice. I like the little sharp-toothed look of the later design. It looks very nice, very shiny, very sharp, and overall it's fairly nice even though it's kind of just a plain blue plastic. These also look nice. The tubes are in a plain white. I wonder if they could have been clear, but that's probably not, because I think these are also bendy wire. Let me actually see. These two are attached together. Yeah, they are. God fucking damn it. So that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more bendy wire pieces. Even though these two come pre-attached, so you won't be using them as much. This one is a singular part, the lower one, which I guess you can swap to be the upper one, maybe. No, it's the lower one. The lower one's going to be the main one you use with those earlier accessories that we saw, and they're very nicely sculpted. Maybe some red in these would have been nice, but it works. So yeah, they have the little depressions at the front. And then here at the side, they look nice. And yeah, schoolgirl uniform. The little sweater looks fairly nice and fairly baggy. Not as like floppy as the Reveltech ones, and though a little bit more shiny. So again, you might want to hit this whole figure with a matte coat if you get the chance. But yeah, I like the way the baggy aesthetic looks, and it does kind of hide the creases from the articulation fairly well. This obviously is nice here and floating. It's attached to the whole harness back piece. So I guess I think you might need to remove a lot for dealing with the backpack. But yeah, I like the pouches. They're nice and green. Maybe the buttons could have been painted, though that might have added a little bit more distraction than was necessary. The ribbon also looks nice. The sleeves, fairly simple in paint, but the sculpt looks very nice. Again, outside of these joints, they look very nice. And one of the main things that looks great is the little cuff link is hidden inside of the SHF joint is hidden inside the wrist. So it's hidden perfectly. There is no visible wrist joint, yet still has tons of articulation. It's so nicely engineered and so nice looking. The skirt is 2 parts, and you can kind of see the back part over the front part, though it is a soft material, a very soft material, better than Momo's was. I've seen a lot of comparison. I've got it right here because it's in my kind of I don't know what to do with them pile. Yes, as you can see, here's the Momo, a fairly similar aesthetic, a sweater over like a sort of school-esque dress shirt. As you can see, I have a lot more trouble with this material than with this material in getting it to move out of the way of the legs, so that's nice. So there's no real worries of things getting in the way, and also this part is a separate part. This is split into 3 parts rather than 2 parts, so again, less material to get at in the way. The legs are fairly simple. There's a little bit of a paint mismatch on the upper leg and the lower leg. Though it's not super noticeable, it is especially from afar, it is a little bit noticeable, so I guess just keep that in mind. But yes, we have the thighs, which on these normal ones, the cut is very nicely hidden by the armor, and obviously the armor is fairly simple and green, though I do love the ribbed texture of the straps that they're connected to. And they have 6 holes, and I've seen that they hold the knives fairly securely. The socks go up fairly nicely high. There's a little bit of paint slop on them, but that's okay. And have a very nice ribbed texture, which looks very good. And the shoes also look very good. You can see something going on here. These are fucking Fi's feet for some reason. We'll get to that in the articulation segment, but the socks flow very nicely into the shoe. And the shoe looks very nice, very nicely sculpted and painted. Simple, but looks very nice. But yes, Himiko Toga, fairly well sculpted. Maybe a tad shiny for my taste, and obviously her look is fairly simple, so getting her right isn't like some crazy feat of like painted and sculpted mastery. Though the baggy clothes looking as natural as they do honestly is impressive and is very much appreciated from this figure. It looks very nice. Just maybe a tad shiny, so you might want to hit it with a top coat. But yeah, that's the look. But how does the figure move? And again, we're going to be going over it with the armor on kind of loosely. But oh yeah, I didn't go over the back, sorry. The back, obviously fairly plain. The lines here are also very nicely painted, a little bit of paint slop, but overall very clean, very nice. And these are also painted in silver. They look good. They look good and cartoony and accurate to the look. The head is on your usual double ball joint setup with the armor. So looking downward, she's able to look down fairly nicely, upward fairly nicely. These are going to pop off, so just get it into a pose and then reattach them. Side to side tilt is pretty decent as well. Again, the armor is going to get in the way, so without the armor, it's far more free, far more relaxed, so you'll be pretty fine there. But yes, obviously the collar does restrict it, but she does get a lot of nice room for expressive posing. Obviously, these are on articulation-wise bendy wires. This bottom one is really tightly attached. Oh my god. I don't want to break it off, but yes, they're all on bendy wires, so you can get them posed however you want in the hands, and they will be fine. But yes, bendy wires are always appreciated. Obviously, as mentioned before, the little necktie is on a ball joint. It's fairly loose, though. It'll pop out when you, like, barely touch it, so be careful with that. Be sure not to lose it, or maybe just glue it in place. But yeah, that can get moved however you want. Moving on to the shoulders, there are butterfly joints, which are, whoa. It doesn't look like a ton, but that's a lot of butterfly for this, because, like, otherwise I imagine she would be out like that, but she has a ton of butterfly, and it feels very nice and buttery smooth, too. So, yes, wonderful that she has this butterfly, especially as someone who brings her hands in very close to her face or whatever for cuter poses. Shoulders are able to move around all the way. The armor will get in the way a little bit of like what poses you want to do, and goes out very nicely. That's a very good upward. Not all the way, but basically more than enough, and anything else that you would want, you can maneuver the joints. Bicep swivel, a double jointed elbow, which is able to go in basically all the way. Again, very good for her cuter poses. And then, of course, the previously mentioned wrist setup. I think it's a standard wrist peg. Let me actually check the instructions. They at least have ball joint range, so they're able to go up and down and in and out and anywhere you would want, which is very nice. You get two joints in the torso, a upper joint, which is able to go back decently, forward pretty decently. Almost lost that. I know where it is. Don't worry. I'm just going to leave it off for the rest of the segment. And has a decent amount of swivel, though it's somewhat limited again by this whole setup. And then you have a lower joint, which is able to go back, allows her to go back pretty damn far, forward pretty damn far as well, and with decent side to side. Hips, they're on drop downs, so that's nice. Sorry about hitting the camera. Because they're on drop downs, allowing them to kick forward pretty decently far, backward pretty decently far, and outward. Not an entire split, basically all you need. The skirt does not really get in the way much at all because it is a very soft material. You get a thigh swivel. On these little pouches, these are on ball joints, and also these back bits are on hinges, so depending on what you want to do with them, you can hinge them forward and back and get them nice and fitting alongside the rest of the articulation, which is very much appreciated. It feels very well thought out. Double joint knees, able to go up all the way, basically a little bit of like not quite the full 360 or whatever, or 180, but very nearly there. No swivel at the there, but these are thighs feet, so they have a ball joint up there, are very nicely sculpted into the sock, able to move forward that far, backward that far using the ball joints at the top and the hinge at the bottom, and tilt like entirely all the way. I love these ankle, this style of ankle, by the way. Again, I call them the Fies ankles because I first encountered them on the Cinco de Sejo Commemorator Fies, and that figure is one of the best, so that Figuarts has ever done. So, yeah, outside of like some limitations of the armor, which obviously you can remove if you want even better articulation, and the awkwardness of the little like ribbon thing popping off all the time, it's able to stay relatively well, but not amazingly. So just, I guess, be careful again as you're pressing on things and getting them to move and whatnot. Yeah, there's some annoyance with her, mainly with this upper harness when she is posing with it, though obviously you can choose not to pose with it, so that's there if you so choose. But yeah, the upper harness is a little bit fussy to play with. It's not as much of a pick up and play figure as you may want, but goddamn, can I not deny that this is a very nice figure. Like, look at this. Look at this shit. Look at what she's doing here. This shoulder butterfly, I'm really loving. Obviously, a lot of my problems with the harness go away when you remove the harness, which is something you can do. If you want a really just big, posable, expressive figure, you can just take the thing off. And she'll have a lot more range because there'll be a lot less stuff getting in the way, which I'm glad is there as an option. But overall, this figure has some fussiness. Again, the harness is a little bit annoying because of like it kind of pulling on itself and easily popping off the back. The little ribbon at the front is also a little bit awkward. Be careful holding that and make sure you're kind of posing this on like a table rather than on like a like high up on a carpet, or else you'll lose that and be like, oh no, what the fuck? But I cannot deny that this figure is just so good. It's so worth its price, which is kind of hard to say with a lot of S.H.Figuarts. Like, I feel like they're worth their price, but not like, oh my god, I probably would have paid a little bit more for this. But this figure does feel like a deal because it comes with just so much fucking stuff. Like, oh my god. It comes with so much stuff, and all that stuff is really well designed and engineered, in my opinion. Like, even with the harness, at least these are bendy wires, so you can adjust them fairly well. The tabs are a little bit loose, but they aren't hard to put back on either. And it just feels so well considered. They took so much time with this release and got it working down fucking pat. And it just blows my mind. I think this might be my favorite release in the line, just because they put so much fucking work and effort into it. Oh my god, so good, and pairs really well with the erotica from what I can see. But yes, highly recommend this Himiko Toga. If you're into MHA and you're not picking this up, into this MHA line and you're not picking this up because she's like a girl or whatever, you're fucking missing out. She's amazing. She's just a great figure, and I can easily recommend her. But yeah, that's the video, which is a little bit over long, but as you can tell, I'm really passionate about this figure. I'm really passionate about this character. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like on the video itself to let me know that you enjoyed it. Leave a comment letting me know your thoughts on the figure, on the line, on whatever you think is relevant. Be sure to check back on previous videos on the channel to check out some of my other videos. I've got other MHA, S.H.Figuarts unboxings, and be sure to subscribe so that you are aware of whenever I make future videos. I've got at least 2 more of these videos that'll be coming in the pipeline whenever I get my hands on those figures. So, yeah. And with that out of the way, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it was useful to whether or not you want to pick this figure up. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!